Hey, welcome back to another walkthrough. This walkthrough, we're going to look at Excel F7F Add Form New York Revenue. Let's go ahead and begin. Let's download our files. Remember, we're doing Excel 7F. Let's download our materials. Do not click on the Download All Files button. Click on each file individually. And then go ahead and open up your student file. And make sure you hit Enable Editing. So to get started, we are going to display our second worksheet, the advertising rate information. So let's go ahead and click on advertising rate information. So for step number 2, we want to select the range A4 to C11. And we want to sort this range by code. So let's come up here to our Home tab. Under our editing group, let's click on Sort and Filter, Custom Sort. Let's go ahead and sort it by code, A to Z, and then hit OK. So now we want to create a named range from the cells A4 to A11. So let's highlight A4 to A11, and we are going to create from selection. To do this, we're going to come to our Formulas tab here. Under Defined Names, we're going to click on Create from Selection. And we are going to use the top row as name and hit OK. And that will create our named range of code. For step number 3, it wants us to click on the advertising order form. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a formula that's going to look up information from this advertising rate information spreadsheet. So let's go back to that advertising order form. First thing we need to do is create a validated list. So let's go ahead and click on cell A9, and we're going to click on the Data tab. Under our Data tab, we're going to click under Data Tools, and we're going to click on Data Validation and select Data Validation. So here we are going to validate our criteria. We're going to click the down arrow, and we're going to select List. And as the source for our Windows users, we're going to type in equal and then type in the word code. Equal code. Make sure you capitalize that C. For Mac users, follow the instructions on step 3. You're going to type in a different code here. But for my Windows users, type in equal code and hit OK. And now we're going to copy this down to A18. So notice there's this little itty bitty dot in the bottom right hand corner of our A9 box. So let's go ahead and hover over that. Notice we get this black cross. Go ahead and click hold and drag it all the way down to A18 and let go. So now when we click on cell A9 and there's a little arrow next to it, here is our list that we created on our advertising rate information. So let's go ahead and select D/PH. Next, let's go ahead and click on B9, and we're going to use a VLOOKUP function that will look up information on our advertising rate information based on whatever code we have under item. To do this, we're going to come up here to our FX button, right here on our formula bar. And here is our VLOOKUP function. If you don't see the VLOOKUP function here, you can type in, right here where it says brief description, type in VLOOKUP and hit go. And there it is, VLOOKUP, hit OK. And now we need to put in our function arguments. So our lookup value is going to be whatever is in A9. So let's go ahead and type in A9. For my table array, we need to select the table on the advertising rate information. So once you click in table array, you have to be very careful on what it is that you click on. Come down here, make sure you click on the advertising rate information worksheet and highlight A4 all the way down to C5. Once we've highlighted A4 to C5, we need to make a mental note of where description is, because that's what we're trying to pull over to our other worksheet. And it is in column number 2. So this would be column 1, this is column 2. So once we've highlighted A4 down to C11, we need to hit the F4 key on our keyboard. What that's going to do is it's going to make this an absolute cell reference. If you have a Mac, the command that you'll use is the command key and T. So you'll hold down command, hit T. Or you can put a $sign before and after the A and put a $sign before and after the C if need be. So once we've typed that in, go ahead and click on the column index number. And remember how I told you it was in the second column? Go ahead and put a 2 here. And that's it. So what this formula is going to do is it's going to look up this DPH. It's going to look up that code on that advertising rate information worksheet. And it's going to return whatever value is in column 2. So I'm going to hit OK. And it's going to give us Southwest Tourist Magazine. So now we need to go over to C9 and we want to type in 4 as the quantity. Go ahead and hit the tab key under type. Let's go ahead and type in regional. Hit the tab key, and here we're going to go ahead and put in another VLOOKUP to look up what the unit price is. So I'm going to come up here to the FX button, VLOOKUP, hit OK. Same thing, we're going to use A9 as our lookup value. Our table array, once again, is going to be the advertising rate information worksheet. We want to highlight A4 to C11. Remember to hit that F4 key or that command T or put the $signs in. But this time we want a unit price. This is in column 3. So under the column index, we need to put the number 3 and hit OK. And it's going to pull over what that unit price is. So now we need to copy both of these formulas down. So let's go ahead and click on cell B9. Hover over that little dot in the corner where you get that black cross. Click, hold, and drag it all the way down to B18 and let go. And let's do the same thing to E9. Let's go ahead and put your go ahead and select E9. Hover over that little dot, click, hold, and drag it down. And there we are, we have our formulas copied down. Now we want to fill in the rest of our information. So right here under A10, let's go ahead and hit the down arrow key, and we want to select D-R. Notice that we'll put the information in here for us automatically. Our quantity is going to be 6. We're going to do national. Now we're going to go down to A11. We're going to hit the down arrow key. We want to select D-IN. Notice how it brings over all the information. We're going to do 15, and this is going to be internet. After we type in internet, let's go down to A12. Let's select B-BB. This is going to be 7, and it's going to be billboard. And that's it. So what we managed to do is create an easy worksheet that allows you to look up information based on these codes. So now we're done with the rest of these, so we need to delete these rows here. So let's hover over the 13. Notice when you hover over the 13, you get this black arrow pointing to the right. Go ahead and click, hold, and drag all the way down to 18. Then right click on 13 and hit delete. And now that gets rid of all of our unused rows. Now we want to sum all of these numbers here. So let's go ahead and click on cell F13. Let's click on our Home tab, and under Editing, click on Auto Sum. And it will automatically put in our formula for us. All we have to do is hit Enter. Now for step number 6, we want to make that a total cell style. So make sure you click back onto cell F13 under the Home group, or Home tab, under our Styles group. Let's go ahead and give this the total cell style. And go ahead and click on A1 to deselect everything. So now we want to go to our sales data worksheet. And notice here we have a bunch of numbers. And if you look closely at some of these cells, they have incorrect functions. You can see that by the little green triangle up at the top. So here in I5, we have an incorrect formula. Notice the little dot there in the corner. We're going to go to our Formulas tab, and we're going to trace precedence. We're going to see where this information comes from. And if you look here, this row is talking about belts. So this is first quarter belt cells, second quarter, third quarter. But when you look at where these numbers come from, you'll notice that it's pulling from the keychain growth, 14%. When in fact, we want to pull it from the belts growth category here. So what we need to do is we need to come up here, and so instead of being divided by B14, we need it to be divided by B15. So let's come up here to our formula bar. Let's put our cursor on our formula bar. Let's delete that 4 and make it a 5. Now it's pulling from the right information. Hit enter. Because all these formulas are dependent, you'll notice the numbers are changing automatically. Now we're going to come back up here to our formulas, and we're going to click on error checking. And notice now in N6, it's saying that we have an error. So for this particular error, we need to notice that it is dividing L6 by L10. Well, if you look here, there is no number in cell L10. L10 is a blank cell, when in fact we should be dividing it by L9. So let's go ahead and click right here, Edit in Formula Bar. And we're going to change this 10 to a 9. Once we've changed it to a 9, let's hit Resume. It's going to take us to F7. Notice that it looks like it's giving us the wrong formula, and it's giving us the suggestion to copy from above. We're going to go ahead and do that. Now it moves us to J8, and it's giving us the option of copy from left. We're going to go ahead and do that. And that's it. We're done with our error checking. We can go ahead and hit OK. Lastly, notice that our percents are a little off. All of them are percents except for this one, which is a decimal point. We need to change that, so we're going to come to the Home tab here. Let's go ahead and select cell M5, which has a percent. And we're going to, under the clipboard, we're going to click on Format Painter. After you click on Format Painter, go ahead and just click on M6, and notice that it will change the format for us. All right, for good measure, let's go ahead and save our workbook. I'm just going to hit the Save button here. And now it wants us to display the Designers tab. Under the Designers tab, it wants us to insert a match function in cell B2. So we'll go ahead and click on cell B2. And what we're going to look for is we want to match where the column position of engagement ring is. So let's come up here to our FX button, and let's type in match under description and hit go. And here it is, match, hit OK. Our lookup value is going to be V1 because we're looking for whatever is in B1. Our lookup array is going to be C6 all the way down to C27. And our match type is going to be 0. And go ahead and hit OK. And notice that it's going to bring back a position of 7. To double check that, we can go down from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here it is, engagement rings. So it tells us exactly where it's at. So now what we want to do in cell B3, we're going to do a combination of index and match. Because what we're looking for is we want to match where the engagement ring is, but instead of pulling that, we want to pull who the actual designer name is. Well, this is easy. We're going to come up here to our FX button here, and we are going to type in index, hit go. There it is, index, hit OK. And we're going to select the first option, array, row, number, column, and hit OK. And our array is going to be A6 all the way down to A27. For our row number, we want to select, we basically want to recreate that match formula. So right here in row number, let's type in match. Make sure you capitalize the entire word. Open your parenthesis, type in B1, comma, C6, colon, C27, comma, 0, close your parenthesis. So where did I get this function right here? Where did I get this row number? This is the exact function, the exact match function that we put in column in cell B2. So now our column number, we're just going to go ahead and leave it blank and hit OK. And notice how it brought back the name Jana Furphy, who is the designer who made the engagement ring. All right, so now for step number 11, we want to go ahead and save our book just for good measure. Let's go ahead and click in cell A1. It says in the Sheet tab row, right-click any sheet and select all sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and right-click on Designers and hit Select All Sheets. I'm going to go to my Page Layout tab, open up my Page Setup dialog box right here, and going to go to the Margins tab. I want to center on page horizontally. I'm going to go to my Header Footer, Custom Footer. In the left section, I want to put the file name, and in the right section, I want to put the sheet name. Go ahead and hit OK. And hit OK. Now I want to deselect all of these. I'm going to right click on Designer and hit Ungroup Sheets. I'm going to go to the Sales Data worksheet. And I want to change the orientation to Landscape. So I'm going to change my orientation here to Landscape. Under the page layout right here, Orientation, Landscape. Right here in the Scale to Fit, I'm going to click on this dialog box right here. And in the Page Setup dialog box, I'm going to change this to 90%. Go ahead and hit OK. And then the Designers tab and the Designer worksheet, I also want to change the orientation to Landscape. Once again, let's go ahead and save our document for good measure. Let's go to our File tab and click on Info and Show All Properties. Here we want to add a tag. We're going to do advertising costs. Comma space, capital N for New York, capital Y, and then lowercase revenue. Subject box, type in CGS. And for the author, let's go ahead and put our name in. And just to check everything's working properly, let's go ahead and hit the print button. Notice that we have our file name, we have our sheet name, everything looks good. Let's go ahead and hit save. And we're done. Let's go ahead and save this. Or let's go ahead and submit this. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to close out of here, go to choose file. my student Excel under Downloads, hit Open, Upload, and Submit for grading. I'm going to go ahead and close out of the assignment. And make sure we check this one. I'm going to hit the 3 dots, View Submissions. And it looks like I got 100%. I'm going to click on the submissions. And you can check your grade. If you got something wrong, feel free to go back and fix it. Well, that concludes another walkthrough. And like always, have a wonderful day.